Hey everybody, David the AI Guide. Happy Sunday. Welcome to a new episode of the AI Guide. On today's topic, augmented reality. But first, want to thank new subscribers and all of you who are sharing videos from the channel. Really appreciate that. And please tell your friends so they can check out what we're doing here. So this AR news is big. And the news is Microsoft announced winning a near $22 billion contract with the military to provide AR goggles. So what do these AR goggles do? Well, we've talked some about this in civilian settings. And what we talked about is, let's say you're walking around Paris or San Francisco or New York or wherever you are, and you're a tourist and you want to know what you're seeing. Well, an AR headset provides an overlay on your vision that will say, hey, this building you're looking at is the Eiffel Tower, or it's the Woolworth building or the Chrysler building in New York, or this is Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. So this is very, very cool technology, and it's going to become ubiquitous, meaning everywhere, very soon. And we're not going to get into the pluses and minuses of providing this kind of technology to the military, but what we are going to talk about what it means for us, because our focus here at the AI Guide is on technology's impact on people, the ordinary person. And that's what we care about, and that's what we're going to talk about. So these HoloLens headsets currently sell for $3,500 a piece. That makes it pretty much a 1%er toy, and something that only the very wealthy are going to have, because that's a lot of money to spend on something that's purely recreational and very limited right now, unless you have a lot of disposable income. But this contract changes the game for AR. And the reason is this: the contract includes 120,000 of these headsets. So the way tech has worked and the way AR is going to work going forward is that it gets this critical shot of significantly increasing how many units are being made. So AR, as I was just saying, because of the price, was a very specialty item only for the relatively wealthy and low volume of units. Because of this huge contract, Microsoft is going to have to work out how to make these things much cheaper and at much higher volume. And what that means for us is that once this contract gets in gear and Microsoft starts delivering these headsets, the price is going to start falling on these things rapidly. A example that we've talked about before that's a great example for what I'm talking about right now is when flat screen TVs came out. And at first, a relatively small one was $5,000 to $10,000 a piece, meaning only pretty much very wealthy people or companies could have them. And especially because this was 20 plus years ago when flat screens came out, the money was worth a lot more then than it is now. 5,000 then was 10,000 now, is 10,000 now, and 10,000 then is 20,000 now because of what's called the time value of money, meaning the value of money increases over time. But with this massive volume of headsets now being secured we can expect, just like flat screen TVs, for that price curve to fall from $3,500 down to probably something like $500, which is when it becomes, as I said, ubiquitous and everyone has it. This is going to be revolutionary. Why? Well, you don't need a GPS in your dashboard of your car anymore when you have AR goggles on, because your AR goggles can give you directions, and you don't have to look away from the view of the road to look at this screen on your dashboard, potentially causing an accident. And also, you don't have to look at your phone if you don't have one of these units in your car. So, and there's so many uses. Think about the breakthrough that AR goggles will create in education, because you can actually show people examples instead of writing it on a board or printing and handing out stuff. It's showing them at school in their AR goggles, like math problems and stuff like that, or sentence structure for English class, or places for history class. So you can actually see the places overlaid over your vision. This is going to have unlimited uses, and it's going to be very, very cool. And very quickly, as soon as the price point starts falling to where it's as cheap as or cheaper than a mobile phone, people are going to want this, and you're going to see a lot of them, both at home for gaming, but out of the home for any number of uses. You can imagine that in med school, when they're training doctors to do surgery, they're going to start wearing AR goggles that will walk them step by step while they're over a patient on next steps in the surgery. The examples are limitless. So very cool technology. Price is going to be driven down just like they were on flat screens. When flat screens first came out, they were selling a couple of hundred. Now they sell millions, and each one, the one that used to cost $5,000 now costs $500, just like I was talking about. So this is big, big news, and it's big news for Microsoft because this is their second huge contract with the federal government, because they won a contract about a year ago or so, maybe it was 2 years ago now. Hard to keep track of time in the COVID era, but they won it for cloud computing and beat out Amazon. So that is another massive addition to Microsoft. So Microsoft right now is a hot company that's going to grow very, very rapidly, and it's diversifying quickly away from software into hardware, cloud computing, and hardware holographic goggles. This hologram technology is the first baby steps of it too. Think the holodeck on Star Trek Next Generation. That's where this is going to end up. So very cool stuff, breakthrough stuff this week. If you like this episode, please like it, share it, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Talk to you soon.